Welcome to the Senior Focus. You know, just about every American values freedom, yet many Americans don't realize that that freedom extends to choosing the home health care provider of their choice. Medicare and Medicaid subscribers, called Mass Health here in Massachusetts, generally have the greatest freedom when selecting home health care agencies. According to federal law, home health care patients have the freedom to choose which agency or person will provide their home care services. Section 1802 of the Social Security Act seeks to ensure that free choice is guaranteed to all Medicare patients by declaring that any individual entitled to insurance benefits under Medicare can obtain health services from any institution, agency, or person qualified to participate under Medicare. Furthermore, the Balanced Budget Act of 1997 states that patients needing home health care must be given a list of their options prior to being discharged from the hospital. That list must include organizations in the patient's geographic area that are, 1, Medicare certified, and 2, have asked to be included on that list. Managed care groups, HMOs, have contracts with certain home health care providers. Members of managed care plans should ask about their options, and they should be actively involved in choosing an agency so they receive the best possible care for their situation. Ask to see a list of all your options. Your hospital discharge planner, health insurer, or physician can provide you with the list of home health care agencies. Even if the agency that you want isn't listed, ask your physician for referral to that agency and see if you can make it happen. I have with me today Melinda Montiverdi. She's got a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Donna Ostiguy. Hello, Melinda. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Donna?
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
You work in the home health care industry, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Where do you work?
I work for Home Care Solutions in Westboro, Mass.
And so you're in the facilities in Westboro, Mass. Do you go other places? Do you go elsewhere, or primarily are you in Westboro?
Our office is located in Westboro, but we primarily go anywhere from Worcester to Framingham, Spencer, all the way to Bolton, you know, those areas.
Right, so it's an area that, we'll say, encompasses central Massachusetts, maybe a little bit larger than central Massachusetts, would you say?
That's correct.
You know, are there geographic restrictions in where a home health care agency can provide services?
Usually in the state that they're licensed. So if we're licensed in the state of Massachusetts, then we would have to provide in that state.
All right, so in your instance, Massachusetts.
Correct.
And what is it that you do?
I'm actually the Director of Clinical Services there, but have been for many years a visiting nurse in the field as well.
All right, so a Director of Clinical Services does what kind of things?
I oversee all of our clinical services, so nurses have done as well physical therapy, occupational therapy, home health aides in the field. I oversee the direct care given to patients and clients in the community.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in particular or specific that got you interested in providing home health care services?
Yes, actually, almost 20 years ago, I started in home health because it was convenient for my family. But what I soon realized was that there are many elders who really are not receiving the care that they need at home. The services, whether it be the meals or their med pickup or housekeeping or medical care, they were lacking a lot of that. So I felt like I could make a difference.
Now, you know, lots of times you hear home health care. What exactly is home health care? For people out there that, you know, have heard it and, you know, maybe they need services, don't even realize what kind of services can be provided to them. when you use the phrase or the word home health care, what kind of services would that entail?
Home health care has different sides to it. So there are private sides where there's private pay, assisting with bathing and dressing and housekeeping and cleaning and those things. The side that I maintain would be more certified, what we call certified care, which is, a patient is ill or not feeling well or had a change in anything. It could be a medication change or a change in their condition, mental status change, a new wound, those kinds of things. We get a phone call and we would provide nursing care to them. That nursing care can be pretty extensive. It could be a B12 injection monthly. It could be wound care daily. It could be really the large gamut. We do wound vacs. We do any kind of wound care, pre-fill medications if needed, teach and instruct on diseases and CHF, COPD,
So
diabetes.
what I think I hear is there is a medical, we'll say skilled nursing care component.
Correct.
And there's also, can I call it a home care component?
Maybe private component, you mean?
I think
Other
skilled
than-
nursing and then going into just providing, whether it be bathing, toileting,
Right.
shopping.
Personal care.
Personal care.
Personal care.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And what kind of services in particular on the medical side can be provided in a person's home?
Many services, actually. We provide nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and the differences would be the nursing would be the skilled care I discussed already. Physical therapy would be gait training, Therex, assisting a patient to walk better, to be safer, to look at the devices in the home and see if those devices are safe and adequate for that patient. Occupational therapy would be more teaching and instructing the patient activities of daily living, like cooking on their own, bathing on their own, making their own bed, those kinds of things. So there's nursing, PT, OT. We also provide social work, and they can assist with setting up outside services like elder services and those kinds of services to assist in the home transportation, Medicaid applications. They do the gamut, a huge gamut. We also provide CHHA, which is a certified home health aide in the home care setting, and they would assist with bathing and dressing, assist with some light housekeeping, those kinds of things.
Is there a particular age bracket or age range where you find that these people are the ones that predominantly need home health care?
I mean, I think all ages need it. It
Okay.
really depends on the medical conditions that they're coming home with. We also provide speech therapy as well, which I failed to mention earlier. But I think it depends. I mean, we could have patients in their 20s, we could have patients in their 50s. Predominantly what we see is the elder population, 80 plus.
Yeah, I would think that there are a lot of seniors that you see just by virtue of the fact that the population is exploding.
Absolutely.
In terms of age, with Social Security, I've said it many, many times, Social Security says 10,000 people a day turn 65. It's kind of a difficult concept to really fathom.
It is. We see it. And like I said earlier, what we see is a lot of these elders don't have the care that they need at home or the services they need in place so that they succeed to stay home versus being hospitalized over and over and over again.
Have you seen a particular aging in the patients that you serve? Have you seen the age of your typical patient become older and older as time has gone by?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They do. And they're trying to age in place, stay where they live,
Right.
not wanting to go to a nursing
Everybody
home
wants to stay in the
or an
home if
assisted
they
living. They
can.
want to stay home.
Right.
And their home may be an assisted living, and at that point they would want to stay there.
The basis of our clients that we see regularly is people who want to maintain their independence and be at home.
Absolutely.
Do you feel that I'll say your specialty is geriatric psychiatry, or can you tell me exactly what it is that you specialize in or that you have an interest in?
I'm actually a psychiatric nurse. That's
Okay.
what I've done in the past.
So we see a lot of clients with Alzheimer's who come to us on a daily basis and they still want to be at home, maybe beginning stages, just diagnosed, but they still want to be independent. Their spouse still wants them at home. Do you provide services, we'll say, for those who have dementia? Are there special services that are needed for that type of care?
There can be. First, we would look at the different needs of the patient. So a patient may come on to us initially out of a hospital or out of a facility. Therefore, they may need more of a certified service like nursing to go in to assess what they're actually capable of, PT to assess what they're capable of, OT the same thing. So we would initially go in and assess them to see what they're actually capable of. Once that's known and we know where the patient's baseline is, if they're not able to manage, we would, have a meeting with the family or the provider where they're living just to talk about what other needs are available. If the skilled side, if the patient really is at what we call their baseline, then we would look at, do they need private services? Do they need somebody else to assist? Does family need to assist? Those kinds of things. Yes.
A lot of the people that I'll say we saw previously that were suffering from a cognitive decline, a lot of times I think the people that we saw were pretty much involved, at least as much as possible, in determining, what their future might hold. I think now a lot of the people that we see, we might not even see the person suffering from the ailment. It might be, a spouse, an adult child, that type of thing. I'm not sure if it's just because there's a lot more prevalence of that ailment, that illness in society, and as the age of the population ages, it's just
we see it time and time again.
It's more difficult to handle.
Yeah, it's really tough to see too, because they still want to maintain their independence, especially when the first diagnosis comes through. They come and see us and say, what should we do? How should we plan? Because for them, that's a catastrophic event. They've just gotten a diagnosis that they know will never get better.
No, and it's scary. It's very scary because they're talking about losing their independence and not remembering things and things like that. We also look at, from a psychiatric point of view, medications. What is the patient on? Is it working for them? If it's not working, we make phone calls to the physicians to try to get the physicians on board with changes.
So with your services then that your company provides, you monitor that. So if there are changes in the patient and you see that maybe they need a different medication possibly, or this medication's not working the way that it could, you're observing that and able to see and what changes and maybe make a recommendation to the doctor or family member.
Absolutely correct. That's
I have a question for you. You have a background in paralegal studies, right?
I do.
Okay. If someone went and got a Rogers order and there was a prescription for the administration of antipsychotic medication,
Correct.
As a psychiatric nurse in the community, would you forcibly give someone that antipsychotic medication, or would you say, you know what, not in their home, not in the community?
We do enforce Rogers even in the community.
Okay.
It is enforced even there.
Okay, because I know that is an issue a lot of people deal with, that it's much easier for persons in the facility to provide, that medication.
Level of care.
But when they're in the community, that's not such an easy thing to do. You have to really find people who will be able to provide that service for you.
Yes, and that is, if somebody has a court-ordered Rogers, then we would enforce that in the community as well as they would in inpatient. It would be the same thing.
Now, if an elderly person finds themselves in the hospital and then they get discharged, is there some kind of a written plan, a care plan? How do they know what's going to happen when they get discharged?
Typically, there's discharge planners in the hospital, and they're supposed to give them 24 hours notice of their discharge plan and have medications and their discharge instructions for them. And they are supposed to also give them a list of agencies if they need home care in the home.
Well, Melinda, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
We're going to have to
Thank
head
you
to
for
a
having
break right now. When we come back, we'll be joined by Emily Ostiguy.
Millbury Healthcare Center is a highly respected 5-star deficiency-free skilled nursing and rehabilitation center. We are renowned for our compassionate care and specialty programming, making it possible for your next step, returning home. We listen and take the time to understand your goals. We provide support and the tools needed to safely prepare for your transition home. Millbury Healthcare Center is the community choice for skilled nursing and rehabilitation.
Does your loved one suffer from memory impairment, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease? Consider Dodge Park Rest Home in Worcester. Our geriatric medical team and nursing staff are available 24 hours a day. We offer medication administration and incontinence care with dignity. Our activity programs are designed to engage and stimulate the mind. And with Dodge Park Rest Home, you can better protect your estate and save your assets with only a 1-year look back. Your loved one will feel safe and at home with Dodge Park Rest Home of Worcester.
Charter TV3 and UMass Memorial Healthcare have teamed up to bring you the latest news and trends in healthcare. Health Watch, presented by UMass Memorial Healthcare, brings you the healthcare topics that are important to you. From stroke prevention to allergies, skincare to sports injury prevention, and nutrition to pregnancy, Health Watch and UMass Memorial Healthcare informed you on the issues that affect you on a daily basis. Health Watch on Charter TV3. For extended interviews with UMass Memorial Healthcare experts, log on to our website.
I know everybody agrees with me that it's wonderful to see construction cranes in Worcester, despite the economy. We've got the mall going down, we've got buildings going up. Here in the Canal District, we've got streetscape happening. The colleges are all building. Things are happening in Worcester. We hope to be talking about all the issues that affect Worcester. There's a lot of development going on despite the economy, a lot of interesting politics, always our share of scandal and whatnot, and we hope to have a lively repartee.
Charter Business helps businesses achieve everyday victories. Want to be victorious today? Call 877-BIZ-BUNDLE and switch to Charter Business Internet and phone for just $99 a month. You'll enjoy internet 6 times faster than standard DSL, plus unlimited long distance. Getting a business bundle for just $99 a month makes for an easy decision. But hurry, because this offer won't last. So call 877-BIZ-BUNDLE today. To the victor go the spoils!
Tired of weather reports that don't focus on Central Mass? Introducing Worcester Weather, the only video weather report for Worcester. Worcester Weather is easily accessible 24/7 by visiting chartertv3.com. It is updated throughout the day to give you the best video forecast possible. Worcester Weather also airs at 5 p.m. during the Jordan Levy Show and every Worcester News Tonight telecast. Worcester Weather gives you the local forecast you have always wanted. Worcester Weather on Charter TV3 and chartertv3.com. Brought to you by Berterra Nissan of Auburn.
I'm Caitlin Tivnan from Worcester News Tonight. Thank you for choosing Charter.
Welcome back to the Senior Focus. I'm here joined by Emily Ostiguy, and of course I'm with Donna Ostiguy again. My name is Nick Kaltsis, the host of the show. You have the same last names.
Yes, we do.
Can you describe, you are involved in home health care,
Yes, I am.
and maybe you can describe for us some of the experiences that you've had, where you work, prior employment, what kind of work experience you've had.
I currently work for Care Solutions. It is a home care company. And before that, I worked as a paralegal for you.
You did.
Yes,
I know you well.
For 5 years.
Yes.
Yes. So that's mainly where I got the idea to jump into nursing. I felt I needed to help the elderly more. They weren't getting enough education, and I figured I could go to nursing school and help out with that.
Well, I'm happy that you did. You do
Thank
a good job.
Thank you.
Tell me, is there anything, in particular, other than, the experiences that you've had, even in my office, working with, seniors and elderly, trying to provide, protection for whatever rights that they have. Is there anything else that, in particular, that specifically drew you to home health care?
Yes, actually. My grandmother has been having some issues over the past few years, and same thing with my grandfather. That was my whole idea coming into home care. My grandfather got diagnosed with cancer, and he needed help at home. And me being a nurse, I wasn't currently in home care, and I decided that would be the best way to go because I could help him stay in his home, stay healthy, stay safe. Everything you want to do when you're at home and you can't do it independently because of your current situation. So that's what drew me to home care.
I know that in our family life, Emily, and I'm sure that my mom is watching and will absolutely love this. The fact that she has had recent hospitalizations, and the reason, honestly, that this whole show topic came about is because of the fact that I believe that there's a lot of seniors who don't realize that they have the choice and the right to choose and the freedom to choose the company that best fits their needs for going home from the hospital. I know, Nick, that you were aware that my mom was recently hospitalized.
Yes, I was.
And she was in the hospital, and I'll never forget the day that the woman comes in and says, okay, it's time to go home, Irene. Let's get your plans together. And she says, we have the company all set up. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, what company? And she said, oh, we choose a company. And because I work where I work, and I know that it is the patient, you have the right to choose your own home care company. And we stress this time and time again when we have clients in the office. I can't say it enough, you can't say it enough, Nick, about education and how important it is to really know what your choices are. And the fact that the hospital told my mother that, okay, this is the company you're going home with, how did we know anything about that company? We didn't. We didn't know what kind of care they provided. We didn't know if they were certified, bonded, insured. We didn't know any of the particulars, like having someone come into your home and be in your home and feel the safety and security that, yes, you're going to get the best care, number one. Number two, that they're not going to, we'll say, take advantage of anyway. My mother's elderly, Nana is elderly, and it's difficult to realize that if she's on her own and alone, she needs someone in here that we trust and are comfortable with. And whether it be a referral from another company, fortunately we went with Home Care Solutions. For years we have worked with them. Elder and Disability Law Advocates has always worked with Care Solutions. So for us, it was a reputable company that we know and that our clients have used in the past. That's the company I wanted. However, the hospital had a whole different view of who they wanted in there, and I was so confused because I went back to Nick the next day at the office and said, does my mother have the right to choose her own her own home health care company? And then this whole topic evolved from it. I know that we just had our show on Monday, our radio show, and we talked about the same exact topic because we want everyone to realize that you have the freedom to choose your own company and your own choice.
Yes.
So that was a big factor.
People don't realize that they have the option to choose. They should be given a list of companies when they're at the hospital. They'll be able to pick who will fit them best, who has better rehab services, who has better nursing services. You want someone that has comprehensive care, the total package. Or if you have one thing wrong with it, or one thing wrong with you, you want something specific. Go with that company that specifies your need.
I want to get back to private duty nursing.
Absolutely.
That's what you do, right?
That is what I do.
What is private duty nursing?
Private duty nursing is not quite certified nursing. Certified is when somebody is covered under insurance. Private is when you're paying out of your own pocket and you don't qualify for insurance coverage.
Is there a difference in kind between the services provided between the two, or is it just because it's privately paid for, it's private duty?
Privately paid for is private duty, yes.
You know, it is important, of course, that people understand they have a choice and, you know, they're able to decide who it is that's going to provide care for them. With respect to private duty, where might one find private duty nursing? Like, could you find it in the hospital? Could you find it in assisted living, in the person's home?
Yep, you can do it in your own home, you can do it in a hospital, assisted living facilities, rest homes, nursing homes, all those types of places. We can come wherever your home is or wherever you're staying. We will come and service you there and make sure that you're healthy, you're independent, we're preserving your life.
There was a facility in Lincoln, I believe, that you did work for?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep, the Groves, it was an excellent place. That was their home. I went into their home, I serviced them in their home, I kept them in their home. If something were to happen, if they went to a hospital, we'd follow them through that. We'd make sure, check on them. I'd go into the hospital personally, check on them, make sure everything was okay with them when they were coming home. So when they did come home, I could have everything set up. They'd be all set when they came home and they wouldn't have to worry at all.
I think that's the key too for seniors, is that they know the security. If they're in, whether it be for an elective surgery or even a hospitalization, my mother's was not planned, it just happened. To know to come home with someone that you are comfortable with and that those services are already in place, so that you're not trying to set it up when you walk in the door. It's already all in place. That's the point of the freedom to choose. And even if it is that catastrophic event, or say an example where someone goes in for COPD or whatever it be, congestive heart failure, the key is that you still have the freedom to choose. Where my mother has already used one company, would we ask for that again? Most certainly. That would be our goal, to say we want the same company back that my mom has had such great care with, and we want people to realize they have the ability to do that.
You know, I don't know why everyone keeps saying COPD. I like the old language, asthma, emphysema.
Sorry.
You know, the
Sorry.
first time I heard
Sorry.
COPD, I was like, oh, wow, what's that?
Yeah, everything has kind of, I don't know, mutated, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
Evolved and
Yes.
smaller.
You know, one of the things that I think is really helpful for people is everyone wants to age in place. Everyone wants to be able to stay
Absolutely.
at home for as long as possible. And you know, there are certain things that need to occur for a person to be able to reasonably anticipate being able to stay in their homes. And you know, legal planning, personal needs planning, yeah, they're all very important components of being able to bring the services to bear to your home that you might need to be able to stay home. I think, you know, nursing, whether it's private duty nursing, whether it's, you know, services you get through Medicare or Medicaid, also really help a person be able to stay in their home for a much longer period of time.
I totally agree with that.
I think the key too is that, Nick, when you choose a home care company, that you almost want it to be that they are part of your life, that they're part of your family, that they have the same compassion and treat you with dignity and respect when they come into your home. That's the key of it, is making sure that you are comfortable with the home care company that's come in. We have many clients who come to us and say, you know, oh, my aide didn't show up, the nurse didn't show up, this didn't happen, this did happen. That's the difficult part, is that you have the ability to even say, I'm not comfortable with this company. I want a company that's going to fit my needs. And that's so important for seniors to realize.
Personalization is what people are looking for, and that's one thing I can say that our company absolutely does. That's why I will go with it 100% for any of my family members, myself including, because we're personal.
Well, that's why I think an agency makes so much more sense than, you know, trying to encumber yourself to do the hiring, do the withholding, make the payments. If the person is sick, doesn't show up that day, you know, what do? You have to find a replacement.
Yeah.
It makes it much, much more difficult to provide the care that you need on a continuous basis.
Look how many times, Nick, that we have had clients in our office that will hire somebody as a caregiver under the table, and we have to explain to them, if they go for a guardianship or if they go for any other type of a care plan, that these companies need to be certified, insured, bonded, to make sure that if something happens in the home, you're not concerned about someone being hurt on your property, something happening, and you don't have that coverage. That's why we always recommend going with a company that has all of the integral parts, that you're not just hiring someone for, we'll say, the rate of pay, you're hiring someone for the amount of care and the quality of care that you are getting.
I think the problem comes when people have this, you know, private care, and you know, they might bring in a friend or a friend of a friend, and they're paying them as inexpensively as possible, and then the money runs out, and they're looking at, you know, perhaps needing some kind of a Medicare or Medicaid, and you know, there is the possibility of having to expose the entire situation. And I think it makes it much, much more difficult.
It does.
It's
We see
less
it time and
stressful
again.
when you have a company in there that you can trust, rely on. You have a peace of mind knowing that your family is being taken care of.
In regards to the private duty nursing, what kind of things? I know you said there really isn't a difference in kind, but you know, briefly, because we're going to head to a break real soon. But what kind of things do you actually do for people?
What we provide, just like Melinda had said earlier, we can do the skilled nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, all that kind of stuff. But the main thing that private does is home health aides and companions. We'll have a home health aide come in, assist you with your activities of daily living, help you be comfortable in your house and safe, making sure that your family knows you're not going to fall. We're going to help prevent things. I mean, just keep you independent in your home.
Is it more common now that you find people in cognitive decline? Do you provide services to people that have dementia or Alzheimer's?
Absolutely. Yes, we have aides that are specifically trained in it. Some of our aides are specifically trained, and we will put the aide on the case as needed. I mean, we won't put somebody on there that doesn't know what you know what I mean, that
Their
isn't
needs are.
specific in, say, somebody who is a dementia patient. We will put somebody on there who knows what they're doing.
You know, a lot of times people delay, they wait for the very last moment, and then when it's really late in the game, they try to bring services in, and it becomes very difficult to be able to keep the person in their home. If they were to bring those services in at an earlier time, it becomes easier to extend the person's stay in their home. But in any event, Emily, thank you for joining us
you,
today.
Nick.
And we're going to head to a break right now. When we come back, we'll be joined by Pat Ritchie.
Does your loved one suffer from memory impairment, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease? Consider Dodge Park Rest Home in Worcester. Our geriatric medical team and nursing staff are available 24 hours a day. We offer medication administration and incontinence care with dignity. Our activity programs are designed to engage and stimulate the mind. And with Dodge Park Rest Home, you can better protect your estate and save your assets with only a 1-year look back. Your loved one will feel safe and at home with Dodge Park Rest Home of Worcester.
Millbury Healthcare Center is a highly respected 5-star deficiency-free skilled nursing and rehabilitation center. We are renowned for our compassionate care and specialty programming, making it possible for your next step, returning home. We listen and take the time to understand your goals. We provide support and the tools needed to safely prepare for your transition home. Millbury Healthcare Center is the community choice for skilled nursing and rehabilitation.
We represent the Worcester Tree Initiative Young Adult Foresters.
Since 2009, the city has planted 2,800 street trees.
Trees need to be watered 2 to 3 times per week during the summer for 2 years after they've been planted.
Here is one way we help nurture recent planted trees.
We fill the gator bags with water, and water is slowly released into the soil, and it helps the tree establish itself.
As we continue to plant, it's everyone's responsibility to maintain newly planted trees.
To learn more, visit treeworcester.org.
Charter Business helps businesses achieve everyday victories. Want to be victorious today? Call 877-BIZ-BUNDLE. Switch to Charter Business and start saving over $50 a month. You'll enjoy internet 6 times faster than standard DSL, plus phone with unlimited long distance. Saving your business over $50 a month makes for an easy decision. It's indecision that'll cost you. So call 877-BIZ-BUNDLE today. To the victor go the spoils.
The Arthritis Foundation moves people to move together.
Today is a celebration. We're here to support our daughter and walk to find a cure for arthritis.
My whole entire family's here to support me.
This is the best way that we all can get the word out and raise awareness and raise funds for research.
Reach out to your family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers today.
Coverage from Central Massachusetts for Central Massachusetts.
An air quality alert was issued for Massachusetts early Friday morning.
Police were able to catch up to him and place him under arrest.
More than 2,500 cyclists will take part in the event.
Police dig through new developments in their daughter's unsolved murder on what would have been her 29th birthday.
Reporters in the field and an in-depth local forecast. Worcester News Tonight on Charter TV3.
I'm WTAG's Jordan Levy. Join me on the Jordan Levy Show weekday afternoons on Charter TV3. And thank you for choosing Charter.
Welcome back to the Senior Focus. Pat Ritchie has joined us. I'm Nick Kalsis, your host, and I'm also with Donna Ostiguy. So, Pat, I know that you're involved in home health care because I know that Donna oftentimes calls you and gets advice and guidance on issues related to home care. So I'm going to ask you, can you tell us a little bit what kind of experience you have?
Sure, Nick. I am a graduate of Worcester City Hospital. Back in the day when you were a student and you worked in the hospital for no pay. But you worked and you worked hard. So coming out of City Hospital, the old Worcester City Hospital. I had hospital experience, went on to further hospital experience over at UMass.
I have a little bit of hospital experience at City Hospital as well.
Do you?
Yeah, when I was young, I broke my leg, and they admitted me to City Hospital for, I think, 3 months.
That's quite a long time, Nick.
And I can remember I was in traction, and they had the bags of sand to stretch my leg out. And I was, how old was I? 10 years old. Kids from the bed, a couple beds next to me, would come and play with the sandbags and swing them back and forth.
Well, Nick, life has changed. Now your attraction would be a drive-by.
Yeah, yeah, I think you might be right.
It wouldn't be 3 months. And so, actually, when my kids were young, I got involved in home care because it offered me the flexibility to be able to set up my schedule and work the hours I needed to work. So I got involved in doing home care at that time. Along the continuum, I've done things like I've been a geriatric care manager, and I've cared for elders in their home as a private duty nurse. I have to say it was not a tough take. I summered in Nantucket, and I lived in Fitchburg during the winter months. And
sounds difficult.
Yeah, it was a great job. And I actually worked as a homeless outreach nurse, so I know the streets of Worcester well, and I know a lot about homelessness. And I worked on a federal grant out of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and I was a nurse working along with a social worker on a federal grant moving individuals out of nursing homes, a mass health population, to community living, finding the resources, plugging everything in, and then tracking it and following the sustainability of these individuals so that they could live in a least restrictive setting. So once I did that, I knew the only take for me would be a small home care agency where what you say is what you do, and the plan of care is fit and tailored to what families and patient needs. So that's how I ended up at Home Care Solutions.
Did you know that Donna often refers to you as the guru of eligibility for home health care services?
I call her my walking encyclopedia. If I have a question, call Pat. Pat knows.
Yeah, well, I've actually got a lot of relationships with a lot of the community service agencies, so if I don't know the answer, I'll go find the answer for you. So I guess don't think of me that I know everything, because I certainly don't, but I at least know where I might be able to find the answer or get
For our
somebody
clients,
to
so
answer
Pat,
it.
honestly, you're a wealth of information. If I can't find something, you will find the next person who can help, best help this person. So for us, that's a true gift and calling, because it's difficult to find people who know a little bit about everything in the community, and that's what we look for most times.
Will it get me to heaven?
Hopefully.
What is your opinion about, in Massachusetts, a patient's right to choose home health care?
Well, my opinion is it's a law. So whether, we all are law-abiding citizens here in Massachusetts, so, or should be. And if you're not, you're going to be, locked up. So if it's the law, then that's something we certainly should be following. In terms of patient choice, how do you choose if you don't know what the choice is? So we have individuals out there that are coming to the time in their lives when they may need home care services, and they have to choose from a list. If you don't know who it is on the list, what the list has, what they have to offer, how do you make a good informed choice? So we've taken the initiative at Home Care Solutions to actually educate our patients and let them know what their rights are and what it is they're getting for services, and that they have the right to choose. So when I really meet a patient for the first time, I tell them all about Home Care Solutions, and I tell them, you're letting me into your house. If you like it, remember Home Care Solutions. Remember it when you go to the doctor. Remember it when you're in the hospital. Remember it anywhere you are where you might be faced with having home care. And if you don't like us, then remember, you don't want us back in your home, because you do have the right to choose. I always tell them there's glitches in everything. You know, you may not like personality-wise someone that comes to your home. Please give us a call. We'll change that. We're, like I said, we're tailor-made to accommodate the needs of the individual.
You know, I'm also a big proponent of education for the benefit of the senior population. And you mentioned that you like to educate patients. How do you go about that?
Well, I certainly, when it's the day of the, you know, when I get the referral, I'm constantly educating them, and I'm constantly working with my office staff so that they're constantly educating them all along the way. But more importantly, home care
pamphlets? Is
yeah,
it flyers?
Home Care Solutions gets very involved in the community. I'm up at the senior center every Monday, taking blood pressures, meeting with seniors. It's the right thing to do. Out in the community, spreading the word, whether it's, I'm on several different boards, homeless boards in the city of Worcester, constantly educating individuals about that. Coming on your show, I've been on your radio show before, senior fairs, any avenue that we can reach out to seniors and give them the information, the tools. Please, if you're well, and you, sometime in your life you're going to end up needing home care services, start researching, go online, go to senior fairs, you know, figure out who has what goods and services and what meets your needs.
If someone's in the hospital, are they able to talk with you, to learn from you? And
if someone's in the hospital,
you spend a lot of time in the hospital meeting with people, don't you?
Well, my role actually, and I love my job, is I'm a nurse liaison. So I spend my day in hospitals and rehab settings and in the community doing nothing more than meeting with individuals that are infirmed that are going to need home care services. So if somebody is expecting to have surgery and expecting that they're going to need some home care services when they get home, give our office a call and let us know, because I'm afforded the luxury of being able to come and educate you and give you the information, the tools that you need.
I think that's the key, is the education piece, is that when you're in the hospital and you've had that catastrophic event, in a sense, your mind is not there to say, what company will I choose? We're saying be educated. Nick's mantra, knowledge is power. We say it all the time. I can't say it enough. Nick can't say it enough. Radio, TV, everything we do, it's about educating seniors and letting them know that they have the freedom to choose, not even just a home care company. We've said it about doctors on the show.
Right. Exactly.
We've had multitudes of physicians on our show that we tell them all the time, what's wrong with a second opinion? Absolutely nothing. You have the right to choose that. Seniors just need to know what their rights are and that they have the ability to choose whatever home care company. The hard part is that if it is that catastrophic event that puts them into a hospital setting, then they're in a sense forced, not forced, shall I say, aren't of the right mind to say, okay, this is who I want to go home with. So we tell you, yes, so we tell you to go and make those decisions beforehand. Look at home care companies, call Care Solutions, call other companies to find out what best suits your needs. So if that elective surgery, if that catastrophic event happens, you already have your home care agency in place that you trust and that you welcome into your home.
Right, and we've actually given to our patients that we have on service, we've given them little cards for their wallets, like our little charge cards that say Home Care Solutions. So when they go to that hospital or physician setting, their Medicare card is that size, they open their wallet, and our card is in there as well. So if the rule of thumb is to just go with whomever the doctor or the hospital decides they're going to go with, they have the right, they look at it, they can say, I want.
You know, I think a lot of the problem is, what do they call it? The senior population, silent majority. I mean, they don't like to voice their concerns, they don't speak up, and in this area, to have freedom of choice, you really do have to speak up and say what it is that concerns you, what you're interested in, what you want, or like you said, if a hospital or other facility might give you and try to steer you into a direction, to to healthcare agencies that you're not comfortable with.
You have the right to
You don't have a
ask-
relationship with.
You have the right to ask your doctor. I just found out in my mom's case, who may have elective surgery at some point, that you have the ability to ask your doctor, this is the company I want to go with. They can refer you. I didn't realize it was that complicated a process. My mother has not only, she has a supplemental of insurance, and I called the insurance today to just ask what it is, what does she need to do. It's just about asking questions and making sure that your voice is known.
But they design it to make it difficult for
I know, and that's a
for the
shame. It's
senior.
sad.
Pat, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to have to head to a break right now. When we come back, we'll be joined by Brooke Erickson Mignola.
No, close enough though.
Close enough.
Millbury Healthcare Center is a highly respected 5-star deficiency-free skilled nursing and rehabilitation center. We are renowned for our compassionate care and specialty programming, making it possible for your next step, returning home. We listen and take the time to understand your goals. We provide support and the tools needed to safely prepare for your transition home. Millbury Healthcare Center is the community choice for skilled nursing and rehabilitation.
Does your loved one suffer from memory impairment, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease? Consider Dodge Park Rest Home in Worcester. Our geriatric medical team and nursing staff are available 24 hours a day. We offer medication administration and incontinence care with dignity. Our activity programs are designed to engage and stimulate the mind. And with Dodge Park Rest Home, you can better protect your estate and save your assets with only a 1-year look back. Your loved one will feel safe and at home with Dodge Park Rest Home of Worcester.
Charter TV3 and UMass Memorial Healthcare have teamed up to bring you the latest news and trends in healthcare. Health Watch, presented by UMass Memorial Healthcare, brings you the healthcare topics that are important to you. From stroke prevention to allergies, skincare to sports injury prevention, and nutrition to pregnancy, Health Watch and UMass Memorial Healthcare informs you on the issues that affect you on a daily basis. Health Watch on Charter TV3. For extended interviews with UMass Memorial Healthcare experts, log on to our website.
Fridays on the job in Worcester.
Is that your lunch?
Yeah, just having a few chips, trying to finish some things up.
You should come out to lunch with us. There's a concert on the Common right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd be game for that.
Yeah, let's go.
Escape the office. Come out to lunch every Friday this summer, beginning June 29th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Worcester Common behind City Hall. Produced by the City of Worcester and the Worcester Cultural Coalition. Promotional message provided by the City of Worcester and Charter TV3.
Charter Business helps businesses achieve everyday victories. Want to be victorious today? Pick up the phone, switch to Charter Business, and start saving over $50 a month. You'll enjoy internet 6 times faster than standard DSL. Plus, business phone with unlimited long distance. If saving over $50 a month doesn't make your decision easy, this will. Call now and get up to a $500 gift card. But hurry, because this offer won't last. To the victor go the spoils!
I'm Andy Lacombe from Worcester News Tonight. Thank you for choosing Charter.
Welcome back to the Senior Focus. I'd like to introduce my guest, but I was told that I massacred her name. So, Brooke, I'm going to ask you, how do you pronounce your name?
Mignona.
Mignona. Brooke Erickson Mignona?
Yes.
And, of course, I'm with Donna Ostiguy, and I'm Nick Kaltzis. And you're obviously involved in the home health care industry as well.
Yes, I am.
Can you expound a little bit on the experiences that you've had as well?
Absolutely. I've been fortunate to work in the home care industry since graduating college and had varying roles, all of them related to the word we use is marketing, but to me it's really patient education and community education. So I've been out in the field educating the community, the referral sources, children about services for their parents and or their patients. And I visit doctor's offices, nursing homes, hospitals.
You know, one of the things I find you know, I don't want to say it's prevalent in the society that we're in, but oftentimes I'll see an adult child, we'll say they're like in the sandwich generation, they'll have children, they're trying to care for an elderly parent, they're pulled in all these different directions. So it's really important that not only the senior is aware of what options are available, but also a caretaker knows what options are available to them as well.
And oftentimes they're the ones that are asked to make the decision at time of crisis or hospital stay, because the patient has different things going on. So it's oftentimes the daughter or son that's being talked to by the case managers and coming up with a plan for discharge and what would work for them. And we encourage them to ask questions. And
a plan for discharge, I think that we were told that within 24 hours of discharge, a written discharge plan is provided. What does that look like?
The hospital discharge plans and nursing home discharge plans are specific oftentimes to facilities, but have similar information on them. Oftentimes they have their medications, what they're going to be taking. When someone's had a hospitalization, medications are changed quite a bit, and they need to go home with that new list of medications and what time they're due and how many times a day and that sort of thing. It goes over what their hospital stay involved, so that next person, being typically the home care nurse, can kind of pick up where they left off in the hospital, reasons why they were hospitalized. So if someone had a fall, it's great for us to know that, because we're going to do some fall prevention at the home and assessments for safety issues at the home. Typically that discharge paperwork has on it contact information.
How detailed is the information on the form?
It really depends on the facility, but we're seeing them get more and more detailed. And with now electronic medical records, so much more information can be pulled from the chart. Primary care physician numbers, next appointments that are scheduled, what the nurse and or therapist treatments need to be for the patient if they have a wound and whatnot.
Sure.
And community resources that they're being set up with.
I know that Dawn is big on the need for seniors to pre-plan their discharge, so that if they're there and they're receiving services, when they come home, have things, I don't want to say in place already, but have some idea of what it is that you need and what you're going to do.
How many seniors, Nick, think about it for a minute, that come to our firm and say, I'm having surgery, open heart, hip replacement, knee replacement, even just cataract. I want to make sure my affairs are in order. I want to make sure I have my will, my power of attorney, and my healthcare proxy, just in case.
Yeah, I think the most striking example of that is that we had a gentleman come into the office and he wanted to do some planning because he was going to undergo an operation. Well, it happened that he was undergoing neurosurgery, brain surgery, and I suppose it really didn't turn out the way the guy wanted, and he survived, but cognitively he was severely impaired. He never got to go back home, and from going, being admitted into the hospital, and then thereafter, he needed the care of a facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But the people that come into us are willing to plan, say for their legal, their will, whatever it be, and yet to me I'm saying do the big picture. If you are choosing elective surgery, choose the company that you want in your home after to provide services. Hip replacement, how long you're in, end up needing still rehab of some choice, and then after that coming home with services probably still in place.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't even
think about that. They don't, and actually, they don't realize.
They don't want to have to think about it.
I hadn't thought about it until just recently myself, to be honest with you. And it really is important if people know that they're going to undergo a particular procedure, whether it's a hip replacement, knee replacement, or some particular procedure. It's not like they're going to go back to their home and pick up where they left off. It's going to take some period of time, convalescence, recovery, that type of thing.
I think people oftentimes think they won't need the services. They're going to be fine, they're going to go home, and they're not going to need it. And they can be fine, but those supportive services initially to help transition them back home and get them back on their feet are key in keeping them home in the
That
long
has
term.
been, honestly, Brooke, the saving grace of my mom, because my mom thought she could go home with nothing and didn't think she needed services, and yet they're so vital to her now, she still continues to have them, that they're such an important piece for her to help her progress to getting back to 100%. And even if you need that help the week 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You have the ability to have that and choose that help.
Well, again, and I think a lot of patients, and that's why we try to educate them while they're in the facilities before they go home. When they are accepting home care, oftentimes they think that that person's going to be there forever, that they're not going to have any privacy. And we educate them that this can be a very short-term stay with us, and our goal is to keep you at home. So why not allow those little supportive services that really don't interfere with their lives, only encourage them to be more independent
and that's
to get
what
better.
I was saying before, for people to be able to stay in their homes and remain independent and in the community. If they need services, if they need certain things, it's better that they bring those services in their home, they're able to function and stay in the community. And seniors are so afraid that they're going to lose that independence, they're going to lose the ability to stay in their home. They don't want anyone to know, and because they stay in their home like that without the services that they need, I think their condition deteriorates at an accelerated pace, and then what they fear the most is what actually comes to fruition.
Right. Being able to provide care in the home can keep someone there much, much longer. Just doing some strengthening with physical therapy and fall prevention and helping them with some adaptive equipment. Again, that doesn't mean that the nurse or therapist continues to go there forever. It's just getting them the things that they need in place to stay safe.
If a person decided that they wanted to bring those services to their home, let's say they underwent knee replacement surgery, hip replacement surgery, and they've come to the realization that I can't just go home, I'm going to need some help. What kind of things might they look for in a home health care agency?
I encourage people to interview agencies. And quite a few facilities we work with are giving the list out, and we've been asked to come in and be interviewed by potential patients, which is a wonderful thing to do. And you want to know, what types of services that agency provides specific to what your needs are. So if you had a joint replacement, you want to make sure they have availability of therapy, that there's not a delay for services. And when will they start? So Medicare says you have 48 hours to get out into the home. Our company policy is we admit within 24. So when someone comes out of the hospital, a nurse is there within 24 hours to check in on them and get the ball rolling with services.
What do you think about the need for regulation of the home health care industry in Massachusetts?
Well, I think there's definitely a need for regulation on the private side of the world. On the visiting nurse side, we are highly regulated by the state, but for private duty services, there's not regulation currently in place.
And where you're at, do you run query checks and things like that?
We do.
So it's you're self-regulated, we'll say.
We are, and having both divisions of the company, I think it set us up to have the right frame of mind in doing that, because running query checks, references, doing supervisions on private aides in the home is key to ensuring quality for our patients. And our patients know that they can call and have Emily, the private pay manager, come out and do a supervision. And when we're in someone's home, we're a guest in their home, and personality conflicts happen, and it doesn't mean that it's a stressful conflict. It's just people get along differently. So when patients know that they have someone they can call and say, nothing really happened wrong, but it doesn't seem to be a good personality fit, we're responsive to their needs and feedback, and again, we want them to be comfortable in their home.
Well, Brooke, I appreciate you coming in today. We've reached the end of our program.
Well, thank
Brooke,
you
would you
having
want to
us.
give out your number for Care Solutions if they decide they'd like to call and interview you possibly, your company?
Absolutely. They can call 508-366-1766.
Is there a website that someone can look at and get information if they're so inclined?
Absolutely. It's www.care-solutions.net.
Again, thank you for joining us. Join us next week for more Senior Focus.